he is an amazing person. His dedication to Israel led in 2009 to the appointment by Prime Minister Netanyahu to Ambassador of Israel to the United States, and he has served in this role as a great ambassador. He's done an amazing job. He's brought new focus to this job, and he's brought new greatness to this effort. Dr. Michael Oren.
Thank you. To Irene and Ken Inouye, our dear friends, great to see you again. Good to see you again. Our dear friends and the Senate and the Congress who are with us today, the organizers of the luncheon, Robert Rechnitz next to me, Freelander, to our staff at the embassy, folks, members of our congressional staff, our liaison, and of our defense attaché staff. Pleasure and an honor to serve with you. I feel like, paraphrasing Groucho Marx, who said, I didn't come here to get insulted. I didn't come here to get complimented. So, thank you all very much. I'm wearing a uniform today. You don't know this. This is a uniform. But about a little less than 7 years ago, I was wearing a different uniform. I was a reserve officer serving in what would become known as the Second Lebanon War. I'll never forget hearing the siren outside of the Israeli town of Rosh Hashanah, a beautiful town nestled in the hills of the Upper Galilee, one of the first Zionist settlements of the Upper Galilee. You can see the Sea of Galilee from there. And the siren goes off, and my unit and I, we take cover behind some rocks, and we watch as wave after wave of Katyusha rockets hits this beautiful town. And there was a forest there planted by Jewish donations from around the world over the course of the last 100 years. That forest immediately went up in flames. And the people of Rosh Hashanah, some of them had to be evacuated. Struck by the whole northern part of Israel, Haifa northward, was struck by about 4,000 rockets during the course of that war. And we're sitting behind these rocks, and we're saying to ourselves, this is the state of Israel. Don't we have an answer for this? Is it possible that after struggling through so many wars, we're coming back to our ancient homeland after 2,000 years, we are going to be cowered by thousands of rockets fired by terrorists? And yet, 2 years later, I was back in that different uniform, this time serving in the South, where another 4,000 rockets had hit Israel over the course of, say, 2000 to 2008, 2009. Millions of Israelis had come under rocket fire during that period. About 50 people had been killed, 250,000 people displaced, and we didn't have an answer. The same feeling. Here we are, the Israel Defense Forces. We don't have an answer to this. And then Israel came up with an answer. In world-breaking record time, between 2007 and just over 3 years later, Israel developed the Iron Dome system. It went from drawing board to active deployment in that period. And then it became the first anti-ballistic system in history, or anti-ballistic systems around the world. It became the first anti-ballistic system in history to prove effective in combat. This is quite literally rocket science. This is getting a missile to hit another missile in midair. And not only does it do that, and do that effectively, but within a split second, the Iron Dome system makes an assessment of the trajectory of the incoming round, and will discern whether that is going to hit in a populated area, or it's going to hit in an open field, or in the ocean. If it's going to a populated area, we shoot at it, and with 85% success rate, we take them down. We take them down. That is a world record. Extraordinary. Last November, another round of fighting with terrorists in Gaza. They fired 1,500 rockets at us, at our southern cities. Iron Dome discerned about 500 of them, took down about 450 of them. And meanwhile, about 75,000 troops of the Israeli Defense Forces gathered along the border, prepared to go into Gaza. And I can almost guarantee you, those 450 rockets had hit in Israeli cities, had killed Israeli civilians, then the Israeli government would have had no choice but to send that army into Gaza, and many thousands of people would have been killed. and the reverberations of such an operation would have spread across the entire region with untold consequences. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen because Iron Dome gave us time. Iron Dome gave us diplomatic strength, space, and through the good offices of Secretary of State Clinton, we were able to broker a ceasefire, and there was no ground negotiation. Iron Dome not only saves lives, Iron Dome prevents war. It's not a game ender. Again, 50% of those rockets are going to get through, and Lord knows there are tens of thousands of rockets in the arsenals of our enemies. But it is a game changer. It saves lives, it prevents wars. Now, Iron Dome is an Israeli technology. It was initially funded by the State of Israel. We were able to fund the first 2 batteries. But then we received help. We received help from President Obama. We received help from the Congress of the United States, which enabled us to deploy an additional 3 batteries. The 5th battery was deployed at the height of the fighting in November, right outside Tel Aviv, within an hour of taking down its first enemy rocket. And we are profoundly, deeply grateful for that support. Without it, we'd be in a different place today, and we look forward to having at least 10 of these batteries that will cover our skies and protect us to a large extent from short-range rockets. Together with the United States, we have cooperative projects, David Sling, Arrow 2, Arrow 3, joint U.S. projects that will enable to protect Israel's skies from intermediary, medium-range, and long-range, even orbital rockets. Just this week, the Arrow 3 system had a very successful test, and that will protect us from very long-range ICBMs. All of this through the support and cooperation between the United States and the State of Israel. This month and next month, as President Obama will visit us, it's a historic event, we're very excited about it. That visit will send that same message to our entire region, a message of an unbreakable alliance, of an ironclad commitment between the people and the government of the United States and the people and government of the State of Israel. Extraordinary. We know at tough times in the Middle East, where our entire region is whirling, at tough times here, with the great questions, great challenges to the American economy, we know that behind that Iron Dome stands a marble dome. Marble Dome, the capital of the United States of America. Job 4 years ago on this.
Do you know anything about this?
I was told that there's one person I had to meet up in the Senate, that we have this extraordinary friend, that whenever we get into a jam, here's the guy we can go to, and he will understand. He will get it. And his name is Senator Daniel Inouye. Now, as you mentioned, my father served also in Patton's Third Army. How Chairman Royce was influenced by his father's experience. I was very much influenced by my father's experience. But you understand that in our family, in our home, Daniel Inouye was something of a family hero. Father would always talk about him. And it was such a great honor for me to meet him, just as an individual, then to work with him. As we would go to him with our most complex issues about missile defense, he was always there for us. There was never a time where he said, I was too busy, or I don't understand this, or, you're going to have to go see somebody else. Never a time when he wasn't absolutely there with us. About a year and a half ago, I had the extreme privilege of accompanying him and his family to Israel, where he was given a special award by Prime Minister Netanyahu. We thought really hard about what do you give to a man who has done so much for the people of Israel? And we went to an office that is at the base of the the Israel Museum, where they keep the fragments of the Dead Sea Scrolls that have not been published yet. Amazing thing, in big, huge drawers. You look at documents that were written by Jews 2,000 years ago. And we found a fragment of the book of Daniel. And we had a great facsimile made of it. We put it in a lovely case and with an inscription. And I can think of no greater tribute the State of Israel could give to this man, to show in the Jews 2,000 years ago, we're citing his name. When he passed away in December, I remember telling him that there are thousands of people in the State of Israel owed their lives and their security to your husband. And I can't say that anymore. So in half the 1.5 million Israelis in the southern part of the country, and the 500,000 Israelis in the northern part of the country, and the people in between too, all 8 million Israelis, on behalf of the state, the people of Israel, and the government of Israel, I want to say to you, Ken, thank you. Thank you. I try to keep it no bad interrupted, but this is a person who spent 35 years in public life as well as the chair of the trustees of the Ford Foundation, a Smithsonian sensation, a Japanese American museum, and so many other important institutions. Great honor.